Welcome to our weekly meditation when we've reached the end of June, and I was very struck by some of the readings from Richard Rohr's daily meditations last week, revisiting the theme of hope. So I thought we'd take that possibly for 2 sessions, recognizing the backdrop of the world in which we live, increasingly headlines of war, the climate crisis, and this latest heat wave being exacerbated by that, economic inequality, racist violence on all sides. And in the face of all this, I need to know that a better world is not just possible, but is assured. Richard Rohr says, I need to trust that God's salvation encompasses not only those of us who enjoy fairly comfortable lives, as I think we probably all do here on earth, but also those who will not experience vindication, healing, and justice in this life. One of his colleagues, Cynthia Bergault, talks about the home of hope is at the innermost point in us. She says it's not something that comes at the end as the feeling that results from a happy outcome. Rather, it lies at the beginning. She uses a phrase, a pulse of truth that sends us forth. Yeah, I think hope is about almost a state of mind, a way of seeing the world. So as we commit ourselves to this time, this 30 minutes or so, to rest, to contemplate, and to journey deeper, let's adjust where we're sitting and go through our own ritual of preparation, bringing our attention to our points of contact, the floor with the chair, our own limbs where they're resting, letting our eyes rest or close or use the image on the screen. And then luxuriate in our 2 deep cleansing breaths, in through the nose and back out through the mouth. Consciously using our breath to settle, settling into the sanctuary of this present moment, to relax, letting go of any tensions that we feel in the body. And to enjoy, not thinking of anything else, just enjoying that sense of infilling, being conscious of and thankful for this breath. That breath comes in, think of it as expansion, energizing. Coupled with being alert and focused. Just adding a very simple mantra to that. This is an in-breath and this is an out-breath. conscious of the rhythm and the flow that we are creating. Breathing in, breathing in the breath of God, breathing out any tensions and turmoil. Breathing in the love of God, breathing out your haste and hurry. Breathing in the life of God, breathing out your work and worry. And so we sit quietly before the one who gives life and love to all creation. We sit at peace, surrounded by the one who fills every fibre of our being. We sit in gratitude, giving thanks and welcoming God's presence here. And we just check back in to notice the rhythm and the flow of our breath. So coming back to some thoughts on hope. Hope being something that we start with. A friend of mine called it the expectation of a positive outcome, a way of seeing. Cynthia Bergault says, hope fills us with the strength to stay present, to abide in the flow of mercy, no matter what outer storms assail us. She's going to use quite a lot of watery language and metaphors here. She then goes on crucially to say, it is entered always and only through surrender, through the willingness to let go of everything we are presently clinging to. In the journey of contemplation, as we swim down into those deeper waters toward the wellsprings of hope, we begin to experience and trust what it means to lay down self, to let go of ordinary awareness and surrender ourselves to the mercy of God. And when we enter it, it enters us and fills us with its own life, a quiet strength beyond anything we have ever known. And so we'll just pause with that metaphor, swimming down to those deeper waters towards the wellsprings of hope. And just thinking, what is there that we might need to surrender, to let go of, to allow hope to become a core of our being, to allow ourselves to be filled. When we enter it, it enters us and fills us with its own life, a quiet strength beyond anything we have ever known. And she goes on, since that strength is a piece of God's purposeness, coursing like sap through our own being, it will lead us in the right way. More watery metaphors coming. It sweeps us along in the greater flow of divine love as God moves toward the fulfillment of his divine purpose, which is the deeper, more intense, more intimate revelation of the heart of the divine. And I wonder whether for you, like me, there is still a journey to be made from head to heart. Letting go of the head stuff and allowing the heart more control. Allowing for that deeper, more intense, more intimate revelation of the heart of God, and which within ourselves we can be connected to. We'll pause there for another short while to just contemplate on that idea of the flow, the greater flow of divine love, moving us closer to the heart of God and to our connection with that heart. And then how does this work out? So is this something just confined to our own inner enjoyment, our own self-centeredness? No, because she goes on to say, and as hope, the hidden spring of mercy deep within us, is released and flows out from the center, filling us with the fullness of God's own purpose, living itself into action. Then we discover within ourselves the mysterious capacity to live what our ordinary hearts and minds couldn't possibly sustain. As we've been carried deeply to the hidden rootedness of the whole, where all things are held together in mercy, so we are released from the grip of those personal fears and anxieties and worries, and we're set free to minister skillfully and with true compassion to a world that we all can see is desperately in need of reconnection. Another writer says, hope lets us literally see the presence and action of the holy in our everyday lives. This is not an imaginary desire viewed through rose-tinted specks. It's the solid evidence of the power of love made visible in abundance. So in summarizing in one sentence, Cynthia Bergault believes that through contemplative practice and surrender, we can experience God's mystical hope, and in that become a healing presence in the world. So to our longer silence, in which we contemplate that idea of hope, a way of seeing things, an ultimate assurance, a letting go, and allowing that surrender to lead us to a greater connection with the heart of God. And we'll use the music from Salt of the Sound again. The voice is rather faint on this one, so I've put the words of the song on the screen. It's called Hope. So the silence will allow us to contemplate those ideas of hope, or simply to rest and perhaps set your intentions for the week, how you want to be. Just use the breath for your own peace and quiet. Or practice becoming your own observer of thoughts and emotions, thereby allowing them to drop and fall away. So we gently come out of our silence. Gently stretching. All my hope is in you. That hope which we approach through surrender, journeying deeper, and then act outwards in compassion. Generous God, your grace takes the tangled threads of our lives and weaves them into stories of beauty and hope. In the silence of our hearts, you create space for grace, a sanctuary where your love can make all things new. May our lives echo your redemptive love, keep us rooted in you, and guide us ever closer to your heart. Amen.